What's going on, guys? It's your boy Thriller here, and we are here for our Week 6 matchup, taking on Jubacaraba. I think that's how you say their name. This is a very big matchup for us here because we need to pretty much win out in order to make playoffs, and we also need to win pretty much at the bare minimum 4 or higher for these last 3 weeks, 5 or 6 if possible. So it's gonna really come down to pretty much just winning out and trying to win with big differential, which I don't think I'm gonna be able to pull off. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. But we're taking on Ju Bakaraba, and I believe they're pretty much eliminated from the playoff standing. So they might not bring serious stuff versus us. They could bring funny stuff potentially. So I don't know. But we're hoping to pick up the win though, and if we don't, then we're pretty much just gonna have fun the last 2 weeks and just maybe bring some funny stuff. But with that being said, let's talk about their team and so on and so forth. They have Garchomp with Terra Armov, Terra Metagross, Rabambe, Zora, Kisui, Halucha, Ogerpon, and Rotom Wash. Now, looking at this matchup, I think the only Pokemon that does not come this week, I believe, was Metagross. I think. It was either Metagross or Rabambi. One of those two I know for a fact are not showing up this week. Everything else, and pretty much everything, does still have a fair shot to be brought against me. I think this is one of the more scarier teams for us to fight against because it's really well balanced and it really just covers a lot of bases around our team. So it's gonna be really interesting to see how we have to play around this and just see what we can do. But yeah, let's go ahead and just get into the team that I am bringing for you guys right now. And here is the team. I was just double checking some stuff. Yes, it is Rabambi and Metagross that I do not expect to come. It's probably Rabambi though as an option, but yeah. But this is going to be our Hisuian Arcanine, and we're taking a big, big risk on this set this week for a couple of reasons. One is that we're not running a Rock Blast variation of this one because this could definitely benefit us here against potential Sash Lead Rabambi and stuff like that. I might change it still, I don't know. But this set cooks with agility, Terra Blast Dragon, Head Smash, and Flare Blitz. I cover everything for super effective to neutral damage. Head Smash 2 KOs Garchomp variants if it's offensive, funny enough, but a Head Smash plus Flare Blitz into Terra Blast guarantee OHKOs it. I pretty much can OHKO to 2 KO every single Pokemon on my opponent's roster with this combination of attacks if I get set up properly and I start getting stuff chipped or getting stuff weakened and breaking it down. We're at max attack, so we can hit insanely hard for this matchup, and we have enough speed to where we are +2. We should outspeed everything outside of potential Quiver Rabami, but I do not think Quiver Rabami makes any sense this matchup. So hopefully Princess can bring the work. And it's the return of the Hardstone, baby. You guys remember every time I've ran Hardstone on Hisuian Arcanine, I have won a game with it. So can I make it 3 for 3? We're gonna have to find out. Up next we have Fiona, our Ogre Pond Cornerstone this week, which actually is supposed to be Aku Aku from Crash Bandicoot, because that's the Tiki Mask that follows you in Crash Bandicoot. But I went Fiona because that's usually the standard name because it's an ogre and female ogre. I think that was more fitting. But I think Aku Aku for at least this one because the mask makes it more sense. But anyways, we're SC Trailblaze with Hornleech Ivy Colors. We are literally dual stab this week. Very kind of risky is set because it gets walled by Metagross. And if Metagross does show up this week, we are kind of boned with this set. Unless we weaken Metagross down to the point where we get an SD off, Hornleech or Trailblaze picks up the KO on it. We are Hornleech because I don't actually want to risk missing Power Whips this week, and more importantly, I felt it was more reliable damage. Plus, a chance to potentially keep our sturdy intact as well is also really great in that regard. Up next, we have Fiona, our Gardevoir, rocking up with the Choice Scarf this week. We're modest natured, making sure we are faster than everything else on my opponent's team. Max special attack, modest, and 104 for the bulk. We're Healing Wish, dual was pretty much psychic. Outside of Metagross, nothing really wants to take psychic coverage on this team. Now, obviously, I could have ran Moonblast, I could have had this, or could have that. I felt, generally speaking, Psychic coverage was all I needed this week. We have Shut Up All there just in case Metagross shows up, and if it's not a Terramon, potentially. But Psychic plus Psyshock is going to hit everything from the physical side of things and special side of things on their defensive stats. So, in case I need to lock myself into Psyshock, I have Psyshock so I can be able to beat the Iron Moth. And if I need to lock in on Psychic, I can lock on Psychic and beat everything else in between. So Gardevoir is pretty much here to be breaking and hopefully be a potential late game win con. Also, with the Healing Wish, makes us me have a backup option in case we really need to get something else back in the game. Up next, we have Salamence here, which is kind of a bulky offensive set this week. Once we get one DD up, we are faster than everything on their team outside of Scarfers, which is a very risky set here. But I think it works out exactly in our favor here. We are Terra Dragon because, again, outside Rabombi and Metagross, Dragon is super free into this matchup. Now, obviously, being only Earthquake on Salamence means I'm not respecting Rabombi in this matchup here. But if Rabombi is chipped down and I get a +1 off, Earthquake can knock it out. Outside of that, if Rabombi and Metagross don't show up, which I'm expecting, it's no Terra Fairy or Terra Steel on that Iron Moth. This mon, literally after a +1, just sweeps. There's nothing that stops it. It is insanely destructive. Now, if Garchomp is offensive and has Scale Shot, this is going to be very scary. So we need to get that +1 immediately before anything else gets too crazy. We are Lumberry, so we can be able to be not status either by a potential Stun Spore or from potential Thunder Wave, Will-O-Wisp, whatever you may be, and that way we can be able to get that Dragonance off and start sweeping. Up next, we got Friend the Clodsire with a Shuckle Berry with Toxic, Recover, Poison Jab, and Earthquake. Max Fizz Depth, 196 HP, and 60 attack for just a little bit of offensive prowess. With this set, we're pretty much meant to be annoying. This basically forces the Iron Moth to Terra unless it wants to take Earthquake Chip or a Toxic on something. Poison Jab helps me beat a lot of the things and hopefully nail some poisons, along with Toxic in case I want to go for Toxic, in case I get taunted. And Recover for recovery. We are Shuckle Berry so that way the Garchomp cannot OHKO us. And if the Garchomp is either weakened, we can pick that off with an Earthquake, or we can get a Toxic off on it and put it on a timer and play around that. So, and then lastly but not least, we have our Urshifu here, which I took a very big risk on this Urshifu this week because obviously since they have an Ogerpon, there's a chance this could be an Ogerpon matchup. Now there is a chance that we could not see the Ogerpon here in this match. We could see it potentially being swapped out for something else. So this is going to be, if it gets swapped out, it still is a decent beneficial here, but it doesn't have a ton of merit. We do outspeed pretty much all the bulk that we need to face off against. But regardless of that, we pretty much can beat everything once we get a Swords Dance off. Once we get a Swords Dance off, this is getting pretty hard to not really destroy this Pokemon. We have Drain Punch for level recovery plus close combat, and then Surging Strikes. Dual Stab does phenomenal in this matchup. It really is strong here. We have a lot of def investments. So we can take at least one hit from the Iron Moth. If it is Terra Fairy with Dazzling Gleam, I'm pretty confident we're going to die. Unless, if it's not Specs and Booster Special Attack, there is a small chance we can live one hit because I know for a fact it has to be timid this matchup in order to outspeed Salamence, and it has to be max speed to make sure its speed ties with that, unless it's a booster speed variant, which then it can go into. If it's booster speed, then we could kind of be boned here. But if it's booster speed, it means there's a chance I can live that Dazzling Gleam from the Iron Moth. Now, again, it's only a chance. I would probably have to get the absolute low roll from that Dazzling Gleam to live this hit in order to make sure I do. But other side of that, we pretty much always friend stuff with Aqua Jet if they don't think that. I've been known to have Aqua Jet in my sets here a lot of the time, so who knows. But yeah, that's gonna be the team, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and get connected with Jubrakra, and I will see you guys with the battle. Peace. Alright, guys, we are here for the battle, and wow, he brought both Metagross and Rabombi. No Ogerpon, which was a 50-50 bring on that end. Looks really bad for us here. But Metagross now, and he reveals to be Terra Dragon, which is actually a little interesting. And it's Terra Steel on the Iron Moth. There's no Hawlucha, which I'm insanely shocked that there is no Hawlucha on this build. Very surprised there is no Hawlucha here. So there's a lot of things I can factor in here. This definitely could be Leader Bombi. What do I think is the best choice for us here? I think I like leading with Princess. It depends if he prioritizes webs. If he prioritizes webs, I think he leads Rabombi here. If he prioritizes anything else, he's gonna go Garchomp here. He actually leads with Rona. Alright, I go right into my guy. That hard walls this, which I didn't explain in the team builder. We went Water Absorb over Unaware. Definitely very risky that we did not go Unaware here. Very, very risky. Now this could be a potential Will-O-Wisp here. It is a Will-O-Wisp here, that's fine. I think I go for Toxic here. I think I always click Toxic here. Because you're not going to click... Because the thing is, like, it might be smarter to go into your Metagross here. And click a free Earthquake here. Not a free switch in here, protecting a potential hazard. But at the same time, if I get a hazard up here, it could be good. The Hydro Pump's perfect. We get a Toxic off. Massive. Alright, now that he knows this gets walled forever, what does he switch into here? I have a feeling Metagross comes in here. And I think what I do here is I'm going to make the double into Princess here. Yes. And what I do here is I Terra and I go for Agility. Because I think Metagross is the Terra here. I think Metagross is the Terra here always. And the reason why Metagross has to be the Terra here is I think Terra Steel doesn't help him here. He does Terra Dragon. We do get the Agility off. He clicks Knockoff. Okay. Alright. So knowing him, this is probably a defensive variant. Metagross. If this is just max HP Metagross, Head Smash would have done a lot to him. So unfortunately, it's not going to do that much now. Dragon. So our Terra Blast does a 2-shot on him. He's not gonna OHKO us with anything here. I think I'm fine clicking Terra Blast Dragon here. Because he's gonna click Ice Punch here. Now, the question is he Bullet Punch here? And we can actually scout that Ice Punch damage. Ice Punch 63 to 74? That's 56, so that's definitely not adamant. This is fully defensive. 51 to 60 is what he was doing, so that definitely could be that. Now, he could be Bullet Punch here. If he's Bullet Punch, what do I want to do here? If he's Bullet Punch, what do I want to do here? I think I just have to sack this. Yep, he's Bullet Punch, okay. We go immediately into this. Now that he's Dragon, Gardevoir. We should take one Bullet Punch here, pretty fine. It hurts, but we do. Psychic does 47 to 56. Psyshock does 30 to 36. Yeah, I can't risk it. I have to Psychic here. So he's going to Bullet Punch here. He's Assault Vest. Wow, I did not think Assault Vest right there. That's really bad for us. Alright, so I go Clodsire. I have to save this. That's so rough for us, guys. That's really, really bad. I did not think he'd be... I did not think he'd be that. So Burn with this build, Earthquake is pretty much a guaranteed KO here. And I'm just going to go for it here. Because he is going to go for Bombi. We do break Sash. We do break Sash. You're just gonna set up the Sticky Whips here, though. Let me think about this play. Let's see here. He sets up Sticky Webs. What do I want to do here? Because he may have not fit Bug Buzz on this set. Because I think Sticky Web, Moonblast, potentially Stun Spore, and then either Bug Buzz. Like, Bug Buzz does make sense here into the matchup, but he could just straight up be Moonblast here, so I don't really do a good switch in here. If Sticky Webs are up, what do I don't mind here? That's basically my question. Because I could Healing Wish this, but I don't think it's really pointful here. With Ribombay, Sticky Web, Gardevoir Psyshock does 80 to 95. So it's a roll. I think I'm going to actually make the very aggressive play here and going into my Gardevoir here. On the Sticky Webs. Yep, so we should outspeed this B. Unless he's running max speed for some reason. And it is basically a damage roll with Psyshock here. It is a damage roll with Psyshock here, or I go for the safe Psychic. I'm gonna risk and go for Psyshock. Struggle Bug. And I don't get the roll, dude. Are you kidding me? That's so bad. And he's max speed, too. So he ran more speed. Oh, that's really, really bad. That's really, really, really bad for us. Alright, I gotta go back into Clodsire here. And right here, I think it's Poison Jab. We Poison Jab for two reasons. We Poison Jab because this kills this. We Poison Jab because of that. Healing Wish this Clodsire is actually not that bad here. So he's gonna Moonblast. Okay, we get rid of this. So with B being gone, I'm actually now glad I did not waste my Terra on my Salamence, because now Salamence can still win us the game. I have to get my dance off, though. I have to get my dance off, though, before Garchomp comes in here. In fact, if Garchomp comes in here, I think I'm forced to go Gardevoir here. Yeah, I'm forced to go Gardevoir here. I cannot allow this thing to Scale Shot. I cannot allow this thing to Scale Shot. It's Zoroark. Okay, that's good information to know. That's 1000% Zoroark. So that's Zoroark. So what I think I do here... Metagross. If this is the Metagross set, what is Bullet Punch doing to me? Bullet Punch does 60. No, that's with my Gardevoir. With my Salamence. Where is my Salamence? He does 21 to this. With Zoroark. If it's Scarf, this is bad. I'm gonna go Salamence here, I think. Salamence, I think, is my correct play here. And I Dragon Dance. I don't know if this Zoroark is Specs. Right, Rotom's in here. Rotom. Wash. +1. +2. I can afford to dance again. Okay, we're +2 now. In comes Rotom again. Do I try to Dragon Dance again? Do I outspeed Zoroark with this Spirit now? No. At +3, I do. Iron him off. And this outspeeds Iron Moth. Yes, I risk my dance here again. Now at +4, do I kill this Rotom? And I'm sorry, Baka. I'm just gonna call you Baka. No, that's Brian. Bakra? Let's call you Bakra. Sorry, I'm just trying to really not butcher your name. +4, yeah, this kills. I think Salamence wins me the game. I'm pretty confident Salamence now wins me the game here, because I should be faster than every Scarf variant on his team. Yep, that's game. Let's go, baby! Was it booster speed? It was booster speed. I knew it. GG. Oh, man, dude. A big bounce back win right there. Big bounce back win off of Salamence, baby. Let's go. 5 kills for Salamence. Definitely him making that swap with Rotom really cost him there. I can kind of guess why he did that, though. He probably assumed I was going to go on the offensive there, or he probably thought I would have swapped. Um, but yeah, oh man, I can definitely see why he probably didn't think Lum. Lum is like a 50-50 item you see on Mints, but I think like one of the ideas with Salamence is that you do have to figure it out. And plus, I haven't been running Dragon Dance every week. I've been running mostly special Mints every week. And another thing I didn't tell you is like Bakara, actually is the main person running our division. And he obviously sees these games, goes through them, obviously. So he's seen how I played. So he probably was not expecting me to be Dragon Dance, and he probably was not expecting Lumberry on this set. The fact that he did swap out, though, really put us in the driver's seat there. Like I said, we got, like, what, 1 or 2 dances off? I think we got, like, 2 dances off before we swapped out. Because at that point in time, if we were plus, like, again, this is the reason why I danced here. Because if he did do what he did, it was going to pretty much come down to this roll on Dragon Claw. Because if he is full Fizz Def Rotom, it comes down to that damage roll. If we get the damage roll, we win the game regardless. If we don't get the damage roll, we lose the game. And oh my god, dude. Oh. And this goes to show you guys, you can win versus having no good removal. Like, I have shit removal on my team. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I have shit removal. My removal is a bramble gas and boots. That's the only thing I have. And to be honest with you guys, I was committed to tearing Arcanine this week versus Salamence. Now, Salamence, if I terra'd, would have pretty much been GG. It's over for us. We would have no shot. But since I didn't Terra, I basically put myself in a position to win that game. And this was a much needed confidence booster win for us here. Because I'm going to be honest with you guys, losing so the several weeks that we have was just rough. We lost one game because of a crit. I think. I could be completely wrong. Obviously, there was last week, which we won't go into it because obviously it's a thing we're talking. But basically, could have won that game, essentially. But now we pick up a win, and now we're 2-4. It makes me at least feel good that we were going to walk away with at least one more win before the end of the season. But that does mean our playoff hopes are not guaranteed over. We still have a chance. But again, we have to win out to have that chance. So it's not going to be easy, but we do have another chance, which means we have another week of us actually having to try to win this, win in. So, but off of the back of Salmon's though, you already know he getting thumbnail, and I know this is gonna make my boy Owen really happy. So, with that being said, though, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe. GG's again to Bakura. Again, I'm sorry I'm saying your name in a weird way. I just don't want to make it sound very rude sounding. And if you took any offense to how I said your name, I do apologize, of course. But, oh, we're still on the board, guys. We're still in this. So I'll see you guys next time. Peace.